Masquera say Zimbabwe, welcome to our channel Zoom Confessions and Deep Secrets. Kana karikipitanga kuya paneno channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Kana uchikuwa subscriber, don't forget to comment and share this video. Nasi Zimbabwe, tavigirai nyabudiswa na Zimbabwe Electoral Commission Chairperson Priscilla Chigumba Abvuma achikonfirma kuti ma-elections mu Zimbabwe they were rigged. Story yachita akasike kutanga they were consistently rigged. Kabuda achitaura during an election workshop yakaitwa kunyanga apo Chigumba akabuda achitaura pamusoro pema-electoral disputes achisuggesta achiti zvinhu zvinokwanisa kuavoidwa kana ma-political parties nema-stakeholders akagara pasi aka-agreea on the legal reforms before ma-elections atanga. Kabuda on a confession. In a confession, as the difference is we have stakeholders on the electoral process in Zimbabwe are perpetuated by our failure to correctly diagnose the problem in order to prescribe effective solutions. Akabuda zvakare achienderera mberi achitaura achiti hazvina kumira mushe munyika yeZimbabwe pana challenges ari mu Zimbabwe electoral framework yeZimbabwe. They are direct result of the lack of reforms. Kabuda zvakare achitaura yachiti the electoral change can only be referred to as reform if its primary goal is to improve electoral processes, fostering enhanced impartialities, inclusiveness, transparency, integrity, or accuracy. With ZEC Kabuda, they are now working on my elections at 2028. Tofunga nyaya Kabuda about the conference yakaitwa kunyanga yakabuditswa ne Zimbabwe. The Zimbabwe Electoral Commission concluded a 2-day post-election review conference in Nyanga this week, a gathering that saw a heated debate over the 2023 harmonized elections and the path forward for the electoral reform. The conference, attended by over 160 stakeholders, including representatives from political parties, churches, embassies, the police, civil society organizations, and constitutional commissions, served as the official launch of preparations for the 2028 elections. ZEC Chairperson Priscilla Chigumba opened the conference, stating that the review aimed to identify areas for improvement and inform future electoral reforms. She described the conference as an anxious moment for her, expressing relief at its conclusion. The review process, according to the ZEC Vice Chairperson, Ambassador Rudney Kiwa, extends beyond the conference itself, with an open invitation to Zimbabweans to submit their contributions to ZEC. While government and quasi-government representatives largely praised ZEC and the police for conducting successful elections, a chorus of dissenting voices emerged from civil society organizations, opposition parties, journalists, and others. Elizabeth Valerio, president of the United Zimbabwe Alliance, strongly criticized ZEC, accusing it of bias and unfairly disqualifying hundreds of her party's candidates. She also leveled harsh criticism at the police, alleging a pro-ruling party bias. Journalist Tonderai Toneo Rutsito of TechMeg directly challenged Police Commissioner Godwin Matanga on the disparity in the treatment of political rallies, questioning why ZANU-PF meetings were consistently sanctioned while numerous CCC meetings and rallies were banned. He also raised concerns about the lack of publicly accessible presidential results on the ZEC website. Another journalist criticized the ZEC for its limited accessibility to the media. The conference also highlighted several key areas needing attention. CCC MP Charles Moyo advocated for the automatic voter registration of all 18-year-olds. Zimbabwe Media Commission senior official Academy Bumai Chinamora urged ZEC to adapt its media strategy to the digital age, acknowledging the declining reach of traditional media and the growing influence of digital platforms, particularly in light of the Starlink licensing. Women's organizations called for strong measures against political parties failing to meet the 50-50 gender quota, including rejecting their registration. ZEC CEO Otoile Slaigwana attributed many of the criticisms leveled against the Commission to shortcomings in the existing electoral law. ZEC only acts within the law and will not do anything that is not provided for in the statutes. Those blaming ZEC should instead convince the legislature to reform the laws, he stated. He also emphasized the enabling diaspora voting requires legislative changes. ZEC lawyer Tawanda Kaningoni, who presented twice at the conference, highlighted the need for clearer electoral legislation, pointing to numerous ambiguities that disrupt the electoral processes. He advocated for the establishment of an electoral court to address these issues. The call for an electoral court reflects a broader concern about the need for greater transparency and accountability in the electoral process. The lack of transparency in the tabulation of the presidential vote was a recurring theme, with several participants expressing concern about the lack of readily available information and the need for greater public access to election data. The call for extending voting rights to Zimbabweans living abroad also gained significant traction, reflecting the growing desire for broader participation in the democratic processes. The conference served as a platform for airing these concerns and initiating a dialogue on necessary reforms. The coming years will be crucial in determining whether these call for reform will translate into tangible changes in the electoral system ahead of the 2028 elections. Tonya yakabuditwa muri Zimbabwe tisingazivi kuti munoona sei nyaya iyi. Tiudzei zvamufunga mu comment section.